It was announced on Wednesday that the newest addition, speaking of new additions, to the NXT roster, to the NXT Performance Center, are none other than world-renowned women's wrestler Santana Garrett, who I'm honestly shocked was not signed earlier than she was. She's been doing NXT matches as an enhancement talent since, God, I want to say like 2013. I remember having her matches. I remember seeing her in matches in NXT. I remember seeing her have matches with the likes of Charlotte, Asuka, a lot of other women from NXT's history over the last number of years, and only now they're signing her, but hey, better late than never. And also, the Evolved champion Austin Theory, who we saw in the crowd at TakeOver Toronto 2 on Saturday. Now, it was rumored at that time that, it was just done to give him additional exposure as the Evolved champion. We just saw him at not the main event, but like the co-main event of that Evolve 10th anniversary show, I think against JD Drake in a Unification Championship match that Theory won. He just screams WWE guy. He just does. He's quite good from what I've seen. Again, that was only one match, but from the one match that I saw, the guy's really good. He's by no means perfect. I mean, I from someone that was at TakeOver, I heard that they didn't show his appearance in the crowd on screen. For whatever reason, maybe people would chant, "Who are you?" I don't know. But the crowd barely reacted when he showed up, which, again, is not entirely surprising. He's no Keith Lee. He's no Ricochet. He's not even an EC3. But still, I think he's a top prospect. Evolve is kind of like the feeder system of sorts for NXT. Johnny Gargano, the NXT's probably the biggest star in NXT history, considering all that is accomplished on the brand, came from Evolve, and along with many other people. Drew McIntyre, I believe, is another former Evolve champion that also went on to win the NXT championship. So maybe Austin Theory is next on that list. But even if he's not, he should be a great addition to the NXT roster. I doubt they'll make their debut anytime soon. They kind of usually rush people to the main stage when they have something for them, like a Kushida or a Keith Lee or a Bobby Roode a few years ago. So they might take their time with him, which is completely fine, because it seems like he needs more development before he'll be at that next level. But it is a cool signing nonetheless. NXT just keeps on signing people left and right, for better or for worse. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of fans that are like, oh, they're scooping up all the indie talent, which is honestly accurate, absolutely. But it's pretty much a bidding war right now between NXT/WWE and AEW. We talked about LAX a couple weeks ago here on the show. I said for sure they are headed to AEW. If they're getting offers from WWE, and I'm sure they are, I'm sure they're lowballing these guys, because by no means are they like the Young Bucks. But LAX is a great tag team. I doubt they would call them LAX and NXT. They would likely rename them. But LAX, I think, has some, recognizability. That's not even a word, but like, people know the name LAX because the original team of LAX, Homicide and Hernandez, were in TNA for so long. People know LAX, and even though that's not who Ortiz and Santana are, that's kind of like the roots of the group. I just think the LAX name works for them. And if they can use that in AEW, even better. As long as TNA doesn't threaten fucking legal action like they did with the whole broken Matt Hardy thing, I think they should be okay. But anyway, yeah, I think NXT, AEW, there's a lot of great talent out there right now in both companies, even more so than I would say like a Ring of Honor or an Impact. And, not to slight those companies, Impact actually just recently scooped up Tenille Dashwood. I was shocked when I read that. She went from Ring of Honor to Impact. Not that she would go back to WWE, I don't think they want her, but honestly, I thought she was a shoo-in for AEW. She was actually just announced for StarCast recently. I'm like, why isn't she in AEW? Maybe it's because she realizes they don't really have much of a women's division yet. I mean, who they have isn't bad, but like, Kylie Ray we haven't seen in months. Brandy Rhodes is fucking terrible. Awesome Kong is well past her prime. She's a good talent, but she's well past her prime. Same thing with Aja Kong, and they could still go, but like their prime years, their peak years in the ring were like 10 years ago. They have Britt Baker, who I think is very good. Not even close to being the best women's wrestler in the world, but she has a good look. She can talk. I think she has a good, overall persona, vibe about her. But that's really about it. They don't really have many other women to build around right now. Bea Priestley, I know, is good. Kind of saw little from her at the, I think, Firefest or Fight for the Fallen show, I want to say, last month. But maybe that's why Tenille Dashwood went to Impact. I know that's completely unrelated to what I'm about to talk about, but I just wanted to throw that out there. The NXT and AEW are very much at war right now.